Hi everyone, it's Dr. Dilmar here. I wanted to create a video for two very important reasons. First and foremost, I wanted you to put a face to a name, and then also I have a couple of things I want to show you. A couple of edits that I made to the content, some important dates that I had some errors on. I wanted to correct those for you, but also wanted to walk you through some important features like Cengage, which I know could probably be frustrating for some of you. It's still new for the staff, so I don't want you to be frustrated. So we're just going to walk through a couple of key features together. So I am going to put my screen into student view. And just to let you know, I'm looking at History 2111, but there's 4 classes. So you may not be in History 2111. That's okay. All 4 classes are set up with the same framework, and all 4 classes use Cengage the same way. So it works, the functions work the same. So I will be able to show you some key things. Also, all students have the same exact assignments due the first week, so it doesn't matter which class you're in. This video is going to help you out a lot, I think. And the reason I'm using 2111 is because there's a couple of things that I mistyped or didn't edit in all the right places, so I want to go over that with you. So real quick before we jump in to the first week and into Cengage, if you are in 2111, your class is, so this is a partially face-to-face class and a partially online class. Your class meets on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and there was a few places that I had put maybe the date of the Tuesday, but then I put the word Monday beside it. That was my fault. So for example, here on the announcement for the first week, I've corrected that to be the 21st, which is a Tuesday. Should be a Tuesday. And then also on your course schedule, I actually put a correction note there, and then I corrected it on the finals, on the calendar. So if you printed this calendar before 4:30 today, and today is Tuesday, then you can go back in if you want to have a correct calendar and reprint. So for example, May 21st is the Tuesday, but I had the word Monday here. And then also here, it said the 24th, which is that Monday. So I just changed it to the 25th because you guys meet on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So will be your course calendar. These are the days we're not meeting. And then this is what your calendar looks like. So the calendar is not super detailed, but it kind of tells you how to pace yourself as far as in the different modules. And everybody's course calendar looks very similar to this. So if you haven't checked that feature out, then right here where it says course schedule, on the left-hand side of Blackboard, that's where you're going to find that. You'll also find your syllabus, your attendance policy. You can go back to the home page and your content and assignments. Now I'm going to go back to the home page for a second. Now, by the way, that calendar was also copied into your syllabus. I didn't correct it on the syllabus. I didn't think that was necessary. So History 2111, folks, make sure you, if you go off the calendar that's in the syllabus, know that I didn't change that one. I just changed the calendar that was standalone. So let's go back to the home page. We're here. This is your first week announcement. It walks you through everything you need to do the first week. This is applicable to everyone. And underneath that announcement is a Blackboard kind of short tutorial. If you're not super familiar with Blackboard, I would recommend that you watch that video. And even if you're familiar and you think you know everything, you might want to just go through the video. You can always fast forward through the parts that you're very familiar with. And then that way, in case there's something there that you never even knew, I'm always learning new things, then you'll be able to see that. But your first week essentially tells you that there's some important things to do, and most importantly is getting signed up for Cengage. So, and it directs you to your first week folder. So we're going to jump into that first week folder. Before we do the announcements, let me just emphasize you should check your announcements every couple of days. Some professors might tell you even to check them. It's a best practice to do it once every 24 hours. I know sometimes life gets in the way and that doesn't always happen, but really every 2 or 3 days you should definitely be looking at your announcements to see if there were any updates, because I know I use announcements to communicate if there's any change in due dates, class meetings, that type of thing. So for your first week, the first announcement shows you everything that you should be doing. And all of that is in your first week folder. So I believe in making sure that everything's communicated in multiple ways. So your information for the first week is in that announcement. It's also here kind of summarized, and then we can go into the folder itself. So most of you are very, if you've taken a class with Columbus Tech, this is going to work kind of the same way as your other classes. If not, you're going to find that what you have in my class for the first week is pretty similar to what you're doing in your other classes for the first week. So you've got an attendance discussion board. That attendance discussion board is very important. I personally do not like late work for a discussion board. In the past, I've taken late assignments. I think I'm just going to stop doing that. One, the discussion board is supposed to be interactive, and two, it's just a lot of work to go back and figure out who did what on what day. So pretty much your discussion board needs to be turned in on time. And you'll notice that there's an initial post that's due earlier in the week, and then there's replies, and that's because you're interacting with each other. You guys are in a learning community with one another, so this is a way for you to engage with those peers that are in that learning community. So read this carefully. My strategy for a discussion board is I would copy this, paste it into a Word document, and then as I complete the requirements, I delete it. And then that way I know I've completed all of the different tasks. So for example, I would copy that. Let me go to a blank page. Let's go to a new one. So I copied my direction. So if I were in a class, I would copy that and I would type. So where it says first and last name, my name is Amy Dilmar, my school, and then as I put school and work goals, I would delete that part. And then that will allow me to see that I've done all the different prompts. So I only delete as I type, and I've completed that part of the prompt. And then that also, not only does it help you to make sure that you've done all the parts of the discussion board, it also helps you if the discussion board times out, you don't lose all of your work, it's still there. So I'm just going to go back into the course. So your first week, you have your discussion board that's required, your work ethics. If you haven't ever done a work ethics for Columbus Tech, you will go into here and you can see an explanation. Oops, I hit it twice, sorry. There we go. So it just tells you why you have to do work ethics, what's it for. This is a requirement for every class at Columbus Tech. So you can read about the work ethics. I'm going to go back here. That's the folder that it's in. And so you got the explanation, the assignment itself. You will download this. You will type into this assignment, and then you will put it in this Dropbox right here. So that is your work ethics. We've talked about the discussion board. And if you're in a face-to-face class, there's a syllabus acknowledgement at the back of your syllabus. You can sign that and bring that into the face-to-face class. If you're not in a face-to-face class, then you will have to download this, save it on your computer, type in your name, or you can print it and sign your name. But either way, it needs to be signed, whether you type your name or write it and then scan it. And then you have to put it into this Dropbox. You can see it's due by the 21st because this class occurs on the 21st. The face-to-face classes, yours is due on the 19th, that Sunday night, and then you would submit it. So just going back real quick, every class has to turn in the syllabus acknowledgement. It's the very last couple of pages of your syllabus saying that you have signed this and you agree to all the terms in the syllabus. And if you're in my face-to-face class, then you will bring it to me, and or you can definitely upload it if you wish to. But my online classes, you have to upload it because there's no other option. Now we're about 9 minutes into the video. I'm going to take just a couple of minutes to talk about Cengage, and I'm sure that's probably what most of you would like a little bit of assistance with. I personally am still learning Cengage, and so we are here to do this together. What I have done though today, just as of today, is I've added some additional links to help you. So I am going to speak as if this has been here the whole time, and if you've already looked in this folder and you see something new, it's because yes, it is new. But I built in something extra to help today. So how does Cengage help? Or how does it work? Okay, Cengage works where you buy one license and it gives you unlimited access to all of your textbooks. So if you've already purchased the Cengage package for a Columbus Tech class, you do not have to purchase it again. Once you purchase that one license, all of your textbooks are included for Columbus Tech. The way that you get access to my class and or any other person's class is you have to link to it. You have to click a link through Blackboard. So you could go, and again, we're in the first week's assignments folder, to the folder that says Cengage, and you can click here on the CRN, and it will take you directly into the class. And that's going to take me to my home page. Or you can go into any of the modules that have graded assignments, and they all have graded assignments. So you go into Module 2, Graded Assignments, and you can just click directly on the graded assignment, and it will take you to Cengage. It's going to take me directly to the assignment. Now, what's the very first thing that's going to show up? It's going to bring you to the home page because you have to sign in the first time, okay? So if you get to this page and you already have registered, you've purchased this in the past, or you already registered at some point, you're just going to sign into your account, and this is already linked directly to my class. So it should take you directly to my class once you click on one of these links, any of these links. If you have not purchased Cengage, you have to do that first, and you get your username and your password. Then you go back here, you click on it, and it takes you to the home page, okay? So essentially, there's two things you have to do. One, purchase the unlimited account, and two, find a link in your class, and it will take you to that course. It works easier after you've logged into your Blackboard account and linked to Cengage a couple of times. It just automatically goes exactly where you need it to go. But there's something I want to show you in Cengage that is really super, super important, and I'll probably repeat this a number of times. When you go into Cengage, if you click directly on an assignment, this is the type of page you're going to get. It's the actual assignment, the graded part that you do. But as you know, you are reading a chapter and then completing an item. You can't complete the item without doing the reading. So if you link directly to this assignment that you see on your page, you're just basically jumping to the end. Now I've done that so that you know what's going to be graded. However, here's what I think you should do. Either one, log into your textbook, and I'll show you what that looks like in a minute, or see this X mark right here in the top right? Click off of that, and it takes you to your textbook. So if you log directly into your textbook, and I'm going to just log out of everything so that you can see what it looks like. Okay, so I'm logging into Cengage. If you log directly in, you have multiple books, you would have to choose your book. So I'm going to go into the 2111 class, which is not there. Yours probably has less options. Of course, I'm an instructor, so I have more options. But what I'm trying to do basically is show you, if you log into Cengage and you log in onto your textbook, it's going to look like, drum roll please, like this. So when you log in to your textbook, this is what you're going to see, all of your chapters. If you go here to your, oops, up a little bit more. If you go here and you log into your textbook, it's going to take you directly to the assignment, the graded part. But obviously you don't want to do the graded part. Well, I've got to open on the other screen, sorry. So you would X out of that graded part and you would go back to your chapters, because I'm going to click expand all so you can see what the chapters look like, because you have to do your reading, okay? So you can see that chapter 1 has a setting the scene, focus questions, an introduction, just like a regular textbook would. Section 1.1 has a reading, and then it has a check for understanding. Section 1.2 a reading, and then it has a check for understanding. Everything that's graded is going to be in Blackboard, but that doesn't mean that you can't avoid the reading. So my recommendation is, remember there was an X at the top right of your screen? My recommendation is that you click on the link for your assignment, X out of the actual assignment itself, and then do your reading, or log directly into Cengage and do your reading. So what reading am I talking about? So for example, here for Module 2, it says Chapter 1 material. That means you're going to read Chapter 1, and then you're going to do the graded assignments. Voila. Okay. So let me see if I can get that to link real quick. So I had it open on that other page. Looks like you're already registered. I know I'm already registered. Let me go into this one. Maybe I just need to X out of it. I'm opening a lot of screens, so for you, it probably won't do that. I'm not patient, so I tend to hit things multiple times. Sorry. Okay, well, it worked a second ago. You guys all saw it work. Let me exit out. So I'm in your student preview, so I can see what you see. Let me go back again. I think most of you probably have the gist of it right about now, but I just want to show you one more time just in case. Okay, well, it's not going to work for me right now. It just worked a second ago. This is why I say don't get frustrated. We'll figure this out together. But let's see if it works now. Okay, well, did my pop-up blocker come on? Here we go. I just opened it in a new tab. I hit right click and said open in a new tab. Why does it work sometimes and not others? I have no idea. But that's the whole purpose of me showing you the video, is to show you that there are ways. If something doesn't work, don't just give up, okay? So you can see that I just right clicked and I put open in a new tab, it opens. Sometimes the pop-up blocker might be on, you have to take your pop-up blocker off. Don't ask me how to do that, you'll have to get a techie person to help you. That reminds me, browsers. So from my understanding, Firefox works the best. I'm using Chrome. I'm pretty sure Internet Explorer doesn't work so great at all. Also, I've heard that Chromebooks do not work well with Cengage. You can always call Cengage technical support and ask them to help you with that. But essentially, okay, so I clicked on the link to the graded assignment. This goes back to what I was saying a minute ago. You can't just do the graded assignment without doing the reading. So I'm going to X out here at the top right so that you can see the whole chapter. You can go collapse all, you can go expand all. And then you can see all of the different assignments that are here and all the different chapters. So just like you would in a textbook, if somebody said do questions on page 30, you would read the material before page 30 to prepare you for the questions. You know, this isn't like a Quizlet where you can just Google the answers online and fill them out. Typically, most of this information you kind of have to read in the textbook. So I would actually just say save yourself a bunch of time and just read the section. So let me just go back down to chapter 1. So in chapter 1, see where it says chapter 1? There's several different things that you can read. All the ones that says count towards a grade are linked in Blackboard. So if you were to click on First Peoples of Americas, it's going to take you straight to the checks for understanding. You can X out of it, or you can just log into Cengage and open your textbook and read chapter 1. The moral to that story is to read and not just to take the check for understanding. Okay, well that was a lot for one recording. We're already at 20 minutes. I hope that this at least gets you started. This is going to take you playing around with it, but I built in time for you to be able to explore Cengage. So, you know, you should be spending at a minimum 60 minutes a week in Cengage. And so you will get your 60 minutes in if you play around with this in order to be able to figure it out. And I will say that unless you're in a face-to-face class, your participation grade comes 100% from the interactions that you have in the Cengage platform. when I pull up my grade book, it will tell me how much time you spend in Cengage and what you've been doing. So for example, if you just opened Cengage by itself and you left it alone and went and watched YouTube videos, it's not going to calculate interactivity. It actually calculates how many things you're clicking on, or are you scrolling? It basically monitors the actual interactivity, not just that the screen is open. And I can see your performance based on everybody else's performance in the class. I get graphs and charts and how much time on task you spend. So you need to spend at least 60 minutes a week in Cengage, and that's in the attendance policy that's posted in Blackboard. History, I will make it as not boring as possible for you because I know a lot of you guys are not history enthusiasts, but you're going to have to put in the work, and that's going to be in Cengage. So use this week to figure it out. Call technical support. You can just Google Cengage technical support, or you can pull up the Cengage homepage. The technical folks there are super easy to work with. They'll jump online with you and look at your computer screen. They'll share your screen so they can walk you through things. So if you email me, the first thing I'm going to say is call Cengage technical support, okay? Because 9 times out of 10, they can figure things out. So anyway, okay, we're over the 20-minute mark. I'm going to sign off, and hopefully next time we'll have a much, much, much shorter video. Have a great week.